So, ladies and gentlemen, assalamu alaikum and good evening to everybody, or could be good afternoon, or could be good morning, depends on the time zone you're watching this event. Uh, Assalamu alaikum once again. It is indeed a great pleasure and honor to meet you all today virtually. Uh, I know it is becoming too common to meet virtually and not to meet physically. We are used to it, but hopefully soon we will be able to meet again physically and in presence. So welcome again, and it is really a pleasure to be at the Oman First Virtual Expo and Summit that is organized by Muscat Expo. A special thanks to the organizer for the invitation. It is indeed a pleasure. So I'll start immediately. So today we're going to talk about or shed light on the fintech outlook and developments that is happening in the worldwide. I'll go through a couple of points in today's presentation. So we will just quickly define and understand what is fintech. Keeping in mind we have lots of people coming from different backgrounds, different sector, and what is the impact of financial technology and what drives the development of financial technology. Then I'll just quickly give a global fintech market overview and development that is happening nowadays, what happened during COVID-19, and then a global fintech outlook, and then finally I'll just close my presentation with some closing and recommendation. Well, when we talk about fintech or when we talk about digital development in general, it is one of the most important pillars in all sectors, not just in financial and banking. And digital transformation had played a very crucial role that supports the financial and the banking sector in terms of advancements toward the future. Many users, to be honest, are increasing. It is increasing. They are moving toward the implementation and using of different financial and banking electronic transactions or digital transaction using different of digital applications and solutions and smart solutions. So financial technology has really the ability, to change the structure of the traditional financial services, the banking services, with lots of good use cases in the world, with the successful experiences in the market. It can make financial, of course, services and banking first services cheaper, cost effective, faster, transparent, and also available 24 by 7, especially for the large segment of population or people that does not deal with the banking or the banking products or the banking sectors. The impressive development of financial technology and services, and also the emerging technologies and company has led to have a number of innovative financial and banking solutions that have stimulated the banking sectors and offering but new services and products with the flavor of innovation and creativity. It also leads to simplifying the banking and the financial operations. On the other hand, of course, it have introduced a number of threats, news risk that requires and sort of an intensive precautionary measures in order to achieve integrity, stability, and safety of the banking and the financial sector. Again, fintech have opened a number of different opportunities, but at the same time, challenges at the same time. When it comes to the definition of the and understanding, the fintech, there is no a standard definition globally when it comes to the fintech, or I would say unified definition. So I got two examples, one from the financial stability and what they're defining fintech as a technology-enabled innovation in financial services that could result in new business models, applications, processes with associated materials effect on the provision of the financial services. On the other hand, E&Y have defined fintech as our ventures that leverage technology to develop new and augmented existing capabilities for the discovery, distribution, operations, servicing of the financial products and services. To simplify the definition, I would say it is about utilizing the innovative and the innovative technologies in providing different financial services, banking services, which will be reflected in providing a new service, financial services, banking products, services, processes. So, what are the areas of fintech if you look into the CB insights, how, the diagram and how they are categorizing the areas of fintech? So, fintech over the past years, fintech sector have also, transformed the global and regional and also the Arab financial banking systems with many new fintech players. So we have lots of new banking players. Could be the existing entries, could be entrepreneurs, startups that they are offering a variety of innovative financial and banking services, including payments, includes wealth management, including alternative financing and lending, crowdfunding, wealth management, capital markets, and so on. So, what are the impact of fintech? Fintech may affect, to be honest, many factors, and they are basically shaping the financial and the banking market and intermediaries. If we look into the first impact, we talk about the cost reduction. Automating the function, automating the processes, using of the emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, and many of the technologies are helping to reduce the cost. And also it helps to reduce the online transaction costs through using, for example, electronic wallet, chatbots, online payments, and blockchain technologies. It really, there's a very good successful examples how it lowers the transaction cost, and also in addition lowering the fixed cost of operations, especially when we talk about the back office automation through using the emerging technology. In addition, the impact of fintechs is exposed in reducing, and it helped in reducing the entry barriers, especially when we have everything is available digitally online. The accessibility could be very widely and easily, and less, I would say, challenges and restrictions. Wider economic opportunities. They're in terms of contribution to the national GDP and to the national economy. We have a good examples and successful stories of how fintech startups, fintech companies have contributed to the economy of the countries. And we have a very successful example in Africa and many other regions around the world. And also have introduced a number of new business opportunities, which led of having a new, opportunity to recruit more people or new jobs that has been introduced. Fintech have also enhanced the banking and financial services, which giving an advantage and opportunity to many of the innovations in terms of providing sort of easy access to different services through omni-channels, branchless banking, mobile wallets, mobile banking, digital banks, which I'll talk about it a bit later, and also in terms of compliance with the global and standards like anti-money laundering, CFT, AI, for example, machine learning, and lots of different technology have played a critical step in automating a lot of data aggregation, process automation that can transform the AML, CFT operations by infusion of new efficiencies and technology. The last point in terms of impact of fintech, it helped to tap the untapped segments. We have lots of people who, as per the World Bank records, there is 1.7 billion adults worldwide that they don't have access to the bank account and the traditional bank. So the fintech has a positive impact on this aspect and has become as a saver for all those untapped people by providing them with an easy option to have access to the financial services without the need of opening a bank account in a traditional bank. Again, there's a different models, more of a collaboration is happening. I'll talk about it in a bit, but fintech could be one of the best options to carry out a number of financial services, which will support the financial inclusion since it is developed to provide customers with a direct access to their financial and banking services through using and implementing different technology based on the cutting-edge technology solutions. So what drives the fintech, which will lead to this fintech? I would put them into two segments, or into two areas. We have the supply and we have the demand. So if we talk about the demand, the competition in the market, in terms of competing the traditional banks in order to share the profit or to share the economy, considered one of the demand that have driven the fintech development. Two, most of the times the offered products and services does not match the expectation of the customers, either because high cost of services, or could be not much options are available in the market. So that's also had led to create sort of a demand for to push the development of fintech. And finally, the customer preferences keep changing. The customers having more sort of an expectations, higher expectation in terms of cost, speed, the service available anytime. This has also have created a demand that have driven the fintech development. If we look into the supply, what caused also the driven of fintech development, the emerging of a new technology have offered lots of lower cost, and also increased the potential opportunity for having a successful and competition. Example, big data, mobile technology, cloud computing, internet, and many of these technologies have also pushed the emergence of new technologies. The growth and developments of the e-commerce have also led to have more sort of an increase of the need of different fintech solutions, payment solutions, money transfers, wallets, lending, different lending options, insurance, online insurance, all because of the growth that we are having worldwide in terms of electronic commerce. Finally, the regulatory restrictions on the traditional players have also created some sort of a supply in the market to have a new fintech entrants that have driven the fintech development. If we look into some of the fintech market overview and development that is happening during the time, I can say fintech is on advanced stage in some regions, and it is still at an early stage or a mid stage in some regions. There is, I would say, an exist of substantial uncertainties in some areas within fintech. However, it is very obvious that the growth is too high. Market is growing rapidly. We see a lot of successful story. There is also a potential to cover all the areas of the financial services. However, in today's presentation, I'm going to focus on the key major trends of 2020, and also I'm going to look into the peer-to-peer lending. For example, if we look into peer-to-peer lending, we can see that as per the market statistics, it has been forecasted that it will be the growth of the P2P, of the global P2P market, lending market, from $34.2 billion in 2018 to $589 billion by 2025. That shows, this is according to the Market Watch, and it is almost with a compound annual growth rate of 50%. If we look into the consumer usage of fintech, according to Global Fintech Index 2019 report, it's been shown that 96% of global consumers are aware of at least one of the money transfer and payment fintech services, very high rate. 33% of the global consumers often use fintech service other than their bank, and we have 74% of the global consumers use money transfer and payment fintech services. If you look into in terms of investments, and if you look into the compound annual growth rate, it is anticipated by the global fintech market a growth of 20%, around 20%, during this year. And this is also again, the market will be anticipated to reach around 305 billion by 2025. According to another report from Global Fintech Investments, the trend from in terms of global fintech investments by the KPMG International Reports, the investments in fintech in the region of Europe, Middle East, Africa recorded 4.6 billion in the first half of 2020. And by referring to another report from KPMG, also in 2019, it recorded 2,693 deals globally in terms of investments, which hits almost 135.7 billion dollars. There are key reasons, of course, behind this growth on fintech market. Of course, maybe it's about high investment in technology-based solutions by the banks and the financial firms have led to this to these figures. The infrastructure-based technologies, application program interface, the APIs are reshaping the future of the financial industry. In addition, financial technology companies are basically delivering sort of a lower cost personalized products on account of usage of emerging technology within the technology sector, have also supported or led to raise of customer expectation, and this will also boost the market growth globally. What happened during COVID-19? According to CB Insights, e-commerce have grown very high growth from 16% up to 27% percentage of retail sales by 2020. Again, COVID-19 have created a number of opportunities. And of course, these investments, or I would say, or this increase in the e-commerce have also, of course, tailwind for the fintech providers, because anyway they need to use some sort of a payment technologies and online payments to complete the e-commerce transaction from end to end. So there have been a very sharp move, I would say, from a offline economy to the online economy. And the biggest long-term beneficiary of COVID-19 will be the payment companies enabling the e-commerce sector. And also we can see a growth in the average weekly usage in some countries like in Japan, South Korea, United States, China, between the time December 19 to March 20. And the average, it reached, for example, up to 55% increase of the financial applications. When it comes to, by looking into 2018, 2019, and also beginning of 2020, and all its indication, readings, and achievements, and also what has been progress, we can anticipate and predict some sort of a key advancements. However, today I'll be focusing on some of the key advancements that could be more relevant to our region, and based, of course, on my readings. So looking at the growth of fintech deals, we are moving more toward, of course, sort of a mature fintech ecosystem in the region. So I think there will be an increase in number of fintech deals, and also the size of the deals, especially the most of the venture capitals, most of the angel investments and investment entities are investing on these fintech companies which are ready, or at least in a later stage. I think from my point of view, there is one important factor also to support this point is the good number of initiatives that have been introduced by the private and the government sector in terms of supporting incubation, acceleration programs that will support the fintech growth in terms of the new startups and new entrants and entrepreneurs, which eventually will have a good support from the investment companies. Moving to the digital banking, lots of countries in the Asian Pacific, Middle East region are working on developing sort of a digital banking regulations, policies, which will help and support in terms of licensing the digital banks and the digital banking. And of course, this will support and enhance a fair competition in the markets, and will help also to reach the untapped or the unbanked segment. I can see also we will have more of a collaboration rather than competition between the existing players and the new players, between the traditional banks and fintechs. between fintechs and another fintech company, between the technology companies and the fintech companies. And this is what is anticipated in the next few months and or years. More focus by different countries within the region on the open banking APIs. Lots of countries are moving toward regulating the open banking APIs with different models. Some of them are mandating them, some of them are keeping it optional. But I can see open banking is considered one of the hot topics in many jurisdictions. And they are also focusing about a new business models that will come out of having an open banking APIs. Finally, digital onboarding and customer digital onboarding. Again, a lot of different countries, jurisdictions are enabling the customer digital onboarding in compliance with the AML and CFT. And this is a practice of getting customers to be onboarded digitally. And again, this is one of the important pillars, I would say, support the financial inclusions by different countries. And this will allow the digital identification, the customers digitally to be onboarded, digitally due diligence models, and this is a great successful. There's very good successful examples in the regions like in India and Bahrain and many other countries. So this is basically based on my readings when it comes to 2000, based on and looking back on 2018, 19, and then 20. I think. Those are the key elements where I can think about will be one of the attention of the most of the countries in the regions in the coming time. So to close my today's session, I think fintech sector is growing rapidly and has a potential to penetrate and access different banking and financial services across different jurisdictions. The development of financial technology sector varies again to some extent between different countries from one country to another. We can see lots of countries are supporting innovation in terms of also revising their existing laws, regulations, putting lots of efforts to attract investments, venture capitals, angel investments, and also pushing toward the maturing their and developing their ecosystem, the fintech ecosystem. There are many opportunities, keeping in mind in the financial technology sector. However, there is also lots of new risks and challenges that need to be addressed. The competition is high, great, between different entrants. However, we can see more sort of a collaboration coming into the sector. So we may say more collaboration rather than competition. And finally, COVID-19 is becoming one of the new drivers that drive the digital transformation. Thank you very much. I really appreciate. I hope it was very useful and insightful for everybody. It was a pleasure. Thank you very much, and God bless everybody. Thank you.